6 o'clock Wednesday. A blast, high and deep to left field. Way back. Tucker up and kiss that baby goodbye. It's the first home run of the year for Yaman.
Yeah. Let's see what happens now. Tigers cut it to 6.
And we say a happy, pleasant Wednesday morning to you right here. Buddy Sanjay here with another edition of Tigers Roar. There you see Eddie Yaman with his first home run as a Tiger. Unfortunately, LSU losing that game a couple of nights ago to Northeastern by a football score 13-10. Buddy Sanjay in the house along with my co-host and producer Jonathan Poche. Marty Campbell, as always, making all of the cameras look as good as we possibly can. Hope everybody doing well. Been a couple of weeks since we've been with you. We have a variety of topics today. LSU baseball, inexplicably, folks, losing a couple of non-conference games to McNeese 7-6, and then this past Monday, 13-10 to Northeastern. We will dissect that. Oh, by the way, big one for the Tigers tonight at ULL Tigmore Park in Lafayette, Louisiana. It is a sold-out, tough ticket, scalpers market. 6,000 plus is the capacity. And, oh, by the way, ULL's been playing good baseball. LSU struggling a little bit with the consistency with the batters and their late end with the bullpen. Of course, Kim Mulkey and the Lady Tigers took care of business and have won their last 4 games, so now they are a solid number 4 seed. They will get the double bye and will not play in the SEC Women's Tournament until Friday at 1:30. That's probably going to be against Oklahoma. And then, of course, softball has won 10 straight the last couple of weeks. They traveled to number 1 Tennessee. The Lady Volunteers are really good, number 1 in the country, but last night it sounds like their ace pitcher may have had a little bit of an arm problem. We will monitor that. That series starts this weekend. Gymnastics, Jay Clark, once again, just outstanding consistency, 198-2, and taking down Alabama this past Friday night, so they are doing great guns. Oh, by the way, folks, in case you forgot it, and yes, we're wearing the sunglasses because, as we know, men's basketball, another loss last night to Auburn. Of course, Bruce Pearl gave the torch over to his son, and they are griping about Auburn, a men's basketball team. They're on the bubble. LSU with Matt McMahon, 3 wins with 1 more opportunity this weekend, wrapping up the regular season. And we'll talk about all of that. But back to spring football, we'll give you some tidbits on that. The upcoming draft at the end of April and the combine, where LSU fans are excited to see Mansour Delane, who's going to go in the first round, 9, 10, or 11 to somebody. Latest mock draft I've seen, Jonathan, is that Mansour Delane could go number 10 to the Cincinnati Bengals. Saints pick 8. And JP, you were on the radio show with me yesterday. Great interacting and talking a little football with you. But, man, Jeremiah Love, if he is there, you better take that and not even second-guess it. But happy Wednesday to everybody out there. Hope that all of you are enjoying the early Lenten season. And, of course, JP, good to be with you on this Wednesday right here with Tigers Roar.
Oh, I certainly appreciate that, Bud, man. Great to be back here on Tigers Roar. Of course, I had the sunglasses on as well because it was a tough weekend. Not only for LSU baseball, who didn't play their best, did drop the game against Northeastern on Monday, but was in the West Bank this weekend, Bud, man, for a baseball tournament, 11U. My team won or tied every inning until the championship game where we blew a 6-run lead on 5 errors, gave up 11 runs. So, yeah, baseball is baseball. Sometimes it works out like that. I think the scoreboard was a little bit rough on LSU during that game versus Northeastern. They left a lot of runners on base, had balls that were hit hard, just right at people. Coach Jay Johnson expects LSU's best game as LSU faces UL Lafayette tonight on the road, the first real road test for Coach Jay Johnson's team. Time to get back right, get a midweek win, get back to that weekend rotation. One bright spot on that Northeastern loss was a lot of young guys got some playing time, Bud, man, including you saw Eddie Yaman hit that home run, his first of his LSU career. A lot of freshmen got some playing time. There are some bright spots. Can you treat it as a learning experience, Bud, man? You weren't going to win all 56, even though Coach Jay Johnson does count it as a 56-game playoff. He says it all the time. But there's plenty of time to regroup. You mentioned spring football just around the corner. A lot of excitement about Coach Lane Kiffin and his new staff here down in Baton Rouge. Of course, Lady Women's Basketball, Coach Kim Mulkey looking forward to the SEC tournament. You mentioned that. And then March Madness is already here, Bud, man. Hard to believe we're already in March in 2026.
No doubt about it. It has flown by, and we hope that all of you are doing well. Of course, there could be some showers this weekend that affect LSU baseball, as JP alluded to, at the Raging Cajuns tonight, and they have won, I think, 8 of their last 9. LSU, let's get into this, JP. Listen, nobody is ever going to second-guess Jay Johnson winning 2 of the last 3 national championships. They came out of the gate being ranked number 1, number 2, across the board number 2. But when you are asking these kids to play so many games so early, I think that they do run into a little bit of a wall physically, mentally, and psychologically. A lot of games back-to-back. They came back from winning the Jax Classic over in Jacksonville, Florida, and then lo and behold, they had to play McNeese, 36 hours later after getting home at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. And my point of it is they still have to go to school, and then you played 4 games again. I think the scheduling has been a little bit rough on these guys, a lot of pop-ups, and after being patient at the plate in Jacksonville, the lack of home run hitting, the lack of consistently hitting with bases filled up. They have done a poor job with scores and running and runners in scoring position. But, JP, one thing about it, people forget this. Last year, you got run-ruled by Northwestern State. Last year, you got swept at Auburn. Last year, you lost Texas the last 2 games after winning the first 2 games. So you freak out and everybody's panicking, but Jay Johnson knows how to go about this thing. I will say this, though. I do think this year's schedule was a little bit too much too early. And, he is a guy that, as we know, he'd play every day of the week if he could. But they're okay, and interesting to see how they're going to play tonight against the Raging Cajuns. This is a big game for Lafayette. Everybody knows about that complex they have in Lafayette about LSU. And so I've got a lot of big-time LSU fans that are saying, "Bud, man, it's going to cost $300 or $400 to get into that stadium tonight. So if you have ESPN Plus, you'll get a chance to watch it. But if not, we'll go back to the old-fashioned listening on the radio." JP.
Yeah, and Bud, man, it's a tough break for LSU. Obviously, give up a lot of runs early in that game against Northeastern. But, yeah, you can just treat it as a learning experiment. They still have a lot of young guys that are still trying to learn their roles with the team. You mentioned the tough schedule. I think that absolutely played into it. And, look, if you win 2 out of 3 championships, every team you go against every single night is going to give you their best shot. They want to beat the champs. They want to beat the defending champions in LSU. So, yeah, even though it's tough to get up for games like Northeastern and McNeese State, those teams will have no problem getting up for LSU because the name on the front of the jersey. I mean, the success brings expectations, but it also puts a target on your back for everybody trying to gun for you at the top. And, yeah, like you said, no need to panic. It's going to be a good environment tonight, a true road test. You mentioned how ULL feels about LSU, so they're going to want to win. They're 9-3 right now in the season, a very talented baseball team in their own right, and anything can happen. I mean, that's why it's baseball. One guy, you got to give credit to Northeastern. They had one time, I think it was in a 4th inning, they had 6 straight reach base. No matter who's pitching against you, it's tough to do that. You hit balls right at guys, you pop one up. You got to give credit to where it's due. They did a good job putting the bat on the ball, hitting it back at the middle, and scoring their runners in scoring position. Also, a big question mark for me, there was a lot of pass balls, Bud, man. A lot of balls that hit that back, the pads back there at Alex Box. And some of it was on the catcher, some was on the pitcher, but they got to figure that out quick, fast, and in a hurry because you can't give up free bases. Coach Jay Johnson treats it, gives the football analogy, treats it as a turnover, and LSU had a bunch of turnovers, not only on Monday but this whole past weekend.
And I always throw in these golf and baseball analogies. Look, the professional golfers are going to want to peak when they play their majors. Everybody knows the first major of the year is always in April at Augusta, GA with the Masters. And my point is that this is a long season. Don't flip out. It's been boring. It's been hard to watch. Heck, this is my job. And I was turning the game off and on and looking at different stuff. When you get down 10-0 to Northeastern, had an experiment with John Pearson at first base. Scratch that. That didn't work out. I had some other experiments. When you have that many pass balls, that many walks, and that many errors, it is not typical Jay Johnson ball. But this is when he does all of those litmus tests and gives everybody an opportunity. I got to say right now, probably the most disappointing thing we've seen, JP, Zach Cowan is throwing a new pitch, and it's called a meatball. It is just way too much over the plate. He doesn't throw at 95, and you got to fool people. You got to have the changeup. You got to have the sinker. And lo and behold, he's just serving it up on a platter, and they are tattooing him. Probably did their humility a little bit of good, down 10-0, but they're tired and running on empty, and so I hope that they got a little bit of rest. After this game tonight, they will have Sacramento State for a weekend series, and then next weekend they will travel to Vanderbilt starting the SEC play. And so you know that you're not going to see some of the guys you saw against Northeastern in starting roles, but not having the timely hitting. JP, I don't have an updated stat, but I think before the Northeastern game they had gone 2 for 22 with runners in scoring position. That's why you're winning games 3-1, 3-zip. That hitting has got to come around, but you know this. You coach ball. It's contagious, and once somebody gets hot, they will all feed off of that. But right now, a little bit of a struggle seeing that the first 7 or 8 games, we thought this team was an automatic lock to Omaha.
Yep.
Right now, you have a few more questions because of the strength of the conference, and you just don't know how good some of these portal guys are. And then let's be honest. Derek, Stephen Milam is not hitting the ball like he wants to. Derek Curriell's not looking good. Derek Curriell has struck out 11 times this year already. They're not seeing the ball, so I would rather them struggle early and peaking into May, early June, than torching it up right now and then not have any stuff left in the tank at the end. You got to peak at the right time, and I think that when you play all these non-conference teams sometimes, these guys hadn't even been outside, JP, Dartmouth and Northeastern. It's hard to give them respect, but let's give Northeastern credit. They just whipped LSU's butt, and now you got to see what kind of obstacles that are going to be in front of them this last week or so before they get in the SEC tournament. SEC play, and quite frankly, I think they're going to be all right, but I'm a little disappointed that they don't have a little more pop with the offensive lineup right now.
Yeah, Bud, man, and one thing that LSU absolutely has going for them is they have a lot of guys on this team that have great college baseball experience. The guys have succeeded in the postseason, even won a national championship. Those guys know, just like what you talked about, they know early in the season, you don't want to give away games, but that's not what is most important. You want to be playing your best baseball when it gets down time to SEC tournament, down to the postseason, on your way to Omaha. So, yeah, the LSU absolutely has the studs. They got to get the bats going a little bit. I think they will. Don't press too much. Look, they ask everybody to be great at what they're good at. Don't try to do too much. Don't press. Let the game come to them. And I think a few guys are pressing a little bit right now, being too selective, Bud, man. I know KJ Johnson really preaches that you don't swing at balls out of the zone, but taking strike 3 right down the plate isn't something we're used to seeing these LSU Tigers do. So I do think they'll get it right, especially that bullpen. You mentioned Zach Cowan. LSU doesn't win a national championship last season without Zach Cowan having huge innings in the postseason. Nate Yeskie will get him right. Home plate's only 17 inches across, Bud, man. The baseball's 3.5 inches. If you miss just by millimeters on the mound, that ball trails a little bit into the plate. And look, these college baseball players are also very good on the other team. These bats are loaded. The baseballs are hard. Offense is trying to be injected to the game because pitchers have been dominating baseball for the last decade. So they're trying to make advantages for the offense. I think some of the hits you can give credit to the juice bats, but give credit to the other team. They've just been playing baseball too, getting hits when they need to, and LSU hasn't been executing the way Coach Jay Johnson needs. But look, he's the best in the business. There's nobody you'd rather have be in charge of your program than Jay Johnson, pitching coach Nate Yeskie. So have faith. I think they'll turn it around this week. Get ready for Vanderbilt in a couple weeks. I'll be at the game this weekend. We have a tournament at Butch Dewey down in Kenner, Louisiana. But after those 2 games, we'll be driving up as a team to go to the Ed Patterson Suite to watch LSU take on Sacramento State. So I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait to see the purple and gold back in action.
All right, we'll take a quick time out. We come back. Let's just see with LSU Northeastern, Jay Johnson, Michaela Williams, Kim Mulkey, all of that coming back on a Wednesday edition of Tigers Roar right here on Pelican Sports TV.
From the versatile Mazda CX-50 to the bold and elegant Mazda CX-90 to the best-selling Mazda CX-5. Don't just move. It's time to move and be moved, and come experience Mazda right now at Team Mazda on Airline.
When I started this practice over 35 years ago, I had one goal: to treat every patient like family. And over the years, I've watched kids grow up in this office, come back as parents, and now I'm seeing their kids in the same chair. That kind of trust, it's not something we take for granted. This isn't just where we do dentistry, it's where we make people feel at home. Frugier Family Dentistry, where you treat it like family. Call or visit FrugierFamilyDentistry.com to schedule.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats, the flavor says it all.
And we welcome you back. Buddy Sanji back in here in the house on a Wednesday morning. Jonathan Poche behind the glass. Marty Campbell working all the cameras. We hope that all of you are doing well. And let's go. Let's roll it. LSU and Northeastern. And inexplicably, JP, this was a tough start as we see right out of the gate. And you know me, I've got to have my first shot at umpires, but Jeff, I'm a knucklehead. His name's Jeff Head. But here we go. Cooper Williams finally getting out of an inning here.
Yeah, Cooper Williams had a fantastic start, Bud, man. Had an electric start to the game. But here we go. Second inning, John Pearson at first base. Tough play right there by the pitcher trying to get over and cover. Here's another whoopsie-davy involving Pearson. Can't put that on him. That was a bad pickoff. Runner moves up, and that was really setting up the tail of the tape for LSU, how the day was going to go.
You know, folks, there's a lot of controversy about the shift and where you play your infielders or whatever, but this was a night where Northeastern was feeling it. They are a good ball club. They won 47 games last year, JP.
Yeah, they were very competitive in a regional too, Bud, man. And look, they were just hitting the ball where it was pitched, finding holes in the defense. That's a tough play right there by the shortstop in the 5-6 hole. And really, that was the tail of the game. They kept finding holes in the infield, popping balls up the middle on whoever was throwing for LSU. Really didn't matter. That's a wild pitch. This is what I was talking about before the game. Tough for the catcher right there. It was a walk, so the runners would have moved up anyway, but that wasn't the only pass ball, Bud, man.
Yeah, no doubt about it. As we said, JP, John Pearson, of course, the brother of Josh Pearson, just had a rough night at first base. But this is when you find out those kind of answers. Here we go with LSU Reeve pitching, and once again, this is going to be Cowan giving up some runs, JP.
Yeah, his breaking stuff isn't as sharp as it was at the end of last season. He's also missing his fastball right to the heart of the plate. Coach Jay Johnson has faith he will get it right. Good job by the second baseman calling off John Pearson right there, taking the pressure off. Here's a ball I thought shouldn't have got through, but, man, playing in the shift. Just a tough break for LSU, scoring a couple runs right here for Northeastern.
You know, everybody asks Jay Johnson from time to time about the shift, and I don't know if it works as well as they think it does, but it seemed to be more commonplace, and you know, that was ridiculous to let that ball get through over there. Here we go, one in the corner in left field, some more runs coming in.
Yeah, but, man, it's 4-0 right here in the third inning. I think this was where it really starts for Northeastern. They really start peppering Zach Cowan, hitting the ball all over the park. I think that pass ball is on the catcher, but, man, lack of focus, didn't get the glove up fast enough. Another pass ball, free bases for Northeastern.
Cade Arambidi and Omar Cerna are the two catchers, and they have struggled, as JP said. Here we go. Once again with balls that are in the dirt, or balls over, balls wide, balls behind him, beside him. I do agree that the catchers have not had a great defensive year so far. Finally getting the strike three right there.
Yeah, that was a nice changeup right there by Cowan. Kind of settled in, but there's another one. Fastball right over the middle of the plate.
That ought to be a double play ball for the shortstop. Where the hell is he?
Yeah, peppered back up the middle of the field. Right, you mentioned it, Bud, man. Should be in double play depth, but having a little bit of a shift. LSU trying to get something working right here. 13-2, 13-3 with the walk. The bases are loaded. LSU just couldn't get enough damage right here with the bases loaded. Leave them full with runners. Here we go. Zach York takes Plunk. 13-4 to score right here. This will load them up again for LSU. Actually, a run score, excuse me. And second and third, Milam gets plunked. And now you think LSU's trying to scratch their way back in this ball game.
Yep, and then get a K there, and then, of course, an excellent play here by the second baseman to get out of the inning. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Ducks on the pond have not been good. Of course, this is a kid that from Cavalcai Junior College that's come on here, and you got to see some of the guys behind the bench, and they started to hit the ball a little bit. As you can tell, a lot of the people in the stands had gone home at this point.
Yeah, Daniel Harden, Bud, man, he had 3 great at-bats, hit the ball hard 3 times. Did get out right there. And here's a home run, a great swing, lots of power.
Eddie Yaman.
Danny Yaman gets his first one of the season. Eddie Yaman, excuse me. Yep, so LSU right here, 13-7, still fighting, Bud, man. Got to give them credit. Haven't given up. Bottom of the ninth. They will end up scratching some more runs. This is a great way to start the bottom of the ninth when you're down.
And, you know, the old days you'd think LSU would come out and end up winning this game. But, look, Northeastern is a legitimate, decent team, and LSU has struggled, as we said, with timely hitting. Back to that shift. I don't know, JP. I don't know how much you guys do that with your little guys, but, you know, it's controversial. And to me, like I said earlier, I think it hurts you more than it helps you. How many times have you seen, well, man, that was a double play because of the shift? But as we saw earlier at the tape, if you don't have it positioned right, then you get some big innings. And unfortunately, LSU gave up some big innings in this game.
Yeah, Bud, man, and it's all about the analytics. You know, Coach Jay Johnson has a plan for each and every pitch. So it's tough to know, you know, if the shift is working as well as they think it is. You know, sometimes you remember having guys out of position, you know, the shortstop over at second base, and you know, the second baseman playing shortstop for where it's hitting. We don't use the shift in 11U, Bud, man, but for a dead pull hitter, I can kind of understand the thought process. Sometimes it doesn't work out, unfortunately, and a couple times it kind of bit LSU against Northeastern. But you got to have faith in the process. They have attack plans for every hitter. They have scouting reports for the pitchers they face. Each and every pitch has a plan to it, whether you're going oppo on a ground ball with first and third, less than 2 outs, trying to hit a fly ball with second and third, less than 2 outs. There's plans, and you have to execute that plan. That's really where LSU has struggled so far. Execution. I think the mental load has been a lot on these guys. You saw John Pearson get the start at first base for Zach York, try to give him some load management because he's had a lot of action, a heavy load for LSU so far. In my opinion, Bud, man, that's the last time you see John Pearson at first base. You got to try to find somebody that you have more confidence in fielding and receiving the ball, catching the ball. Got to have faith as an infielder that your first baseman is going to catch the ball you throw to him. Not to say he's a bad player, not to say he can't play the infield for LSU. I know Coach Jay Johnson does have a lot of faith in John Pearson, but
he's not a first baseman.
Yeah, you need another first baseman, exactly.
Zach York needed a day off. Of course, the Big Bopper from Grand Canyon has cooled off a little bit. Everybody has cooled off. JP, they were hitting 355 a couple of weeks ago. They dropped 45 points with the batting average. Only have 19 home runs. They've only hit a couple home runs in the last week or so. So we'll see if they can bring some of that offense. Here we go, Jay Johnson and Kate Arambidi summing up what we've been talking about after the Northeastern game a couple of nights ago.
Yeah, I mean, we made 2 errors immediately in the second. It was a good first inning for Cooper, and then we didn't handle the ball twice. And, I think it's important, the big inning is going to win or lose games if you win the big inning. And, the 4-run inning and then the next one, dug ourselves a pretty deep hole to climb out of. And, that's going to be key for this team is to stay out of the 3 and the 4-run inning. And, we're going to have to find a new path, as we get deeper in the staff to do that. And that's what we'll do.
What was the sort of decision making them when it's starting John at first tonight?
Just felt like we need Zach to be a good offensive player. And it's been a pretty big load so far with the amount of games, and John's a good infielder. Certainly had a tough night over there though.
What was your message to the team tonight?
Wednesday, first road game. We got to be ready to go. It's a team that's 9-3. I'm sure it'll be a packed house. They love their baseball. Played in a regional there, and let's be better for what happened tonight. In a way, I think we are. It's showing some of the players that haven't played a lot that there's some depth and some options there, and we'll utilize that going forward.
Do you think maybe some of the starters watching as that was unfolding late in the game, seeing maybe from the sidelines just kind of how you guys have that approach and you guys have that success and see what it looks like, do you think that can help them at all, I guess, in this?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it's probably more of an indication of how important mindset is in baseball. And, the term I'll use is when you have psychological freedom, to play the game, competitively and freely. I mean, Eddie Ammon wasn't worried about a batting average, wasn't worried about anything. He was up there trying to take a great at bat, and he did. And I'm proud of him for that. And he just missed that pitch in the 9th inning, too, off a guy that's got a really good arm. Daniel Harden put together good at bats. It was good to see, those freshmen just compete, and that's what we want them to do. Want the whole team to do that. And, hopefully that's what lands on all of the players to help them.
What sort of response do you want to see from your team heading into on Wednesday?
Play our best game of the year. And, I have a lot of confidence in what I believe this team can become. Like I said, the other loss that we have, we've done a good job historically or short historically of, being able to protect some flaws, without costing us some games. And we didn't do that tonight. And, we didn't, play our best over the weekend either. And so there's a little bit of growing pains for this team. I'm not going to single out player or anything like that, but there's some growing pains that we're going through that, if used correctly, will help us be what we want to be. And that's how we'll choose to use them.
Is it a skills development thing, or do you think it's more of a mental approach with?
I think, there's an execution element of baseball relative to, I think we made 4 errors on defense tonight. I mean, you're not going to win too many Division I baseball games doing that. So we need to play cleaner defense. I don't know about the walks, free bases. I mean, you all got a box score in front of you, but again, it's my football analogy of turnovers. You know, those are turnovers, and it's a good team, man. Like I said, like that's 47 wins, and you know, highly competitive in a really good regional last year. I scheduled them because they're going to go win a lot of games from this point forward. You know, and same thing we did with Kent State. Expectation of Sacramento State and Creighton to do that, to put our strength of schedule and RPI in a good spot, and to get tested a little bit. Like, you know, and I think this is more of a mental test than maybe anything they brought from a baseball standpoint. You know, and you know, looking at scheduling this many games in a short amount of time, it's tested some guys, and you know, we'll need to learn from that or this experience.
The other day you said a lesson you learned in coaching is working on the things that are relevant at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
I think, what do you think is relevant to work on now, if it's the right time?
Yeah, I think, you know, playing very fundamentally sound baseball, having a very competitive mindset about what we're doing, and playing with character, and not, you know, losing yourself in the midst of competition or struggle or difficulty, because it's inevitable in the course of a baseball game. Not as, I mean, it's a certainty in a season, but it's inevitable during the course of a game. And, you know, learning how to have the correct response to just be able to focus on what we need to do, you know, and the guys that, you know, pitch the most, and I'll just use that as an example, like the competitive character of Evans, Guidry, Moore, you know, it's evolving, and Schmidt with great talent. It's like there's a reason they're the best guys on the staff right now. And it has a lot to do with mindset, you know, like Steven's the best defensive shortstop in the country, you know what I mean? And that has everything to do with he believes that he's the best defensive shortstop in the country. So not everybody shows up at this juncture exactly that way. And it's our job, you know, as coaches to help them, you know, get to the right mindset and to the right execution. So all of that is relevant, you know, and we'll keep going on that.
Yeah, I think we have a really good team. Like, obviously, we didn't play our best tonight, but, you know, the last few innings when we were all pulling for each other and really having high energy in the dugout, like, it shows that, you know, how deep we really are as a team. And so that's something positive to look at.
What was Jay's message after the game?
I think mainly just preparing us for Wednesday. You know, like I said, we obviously didn't play our best tonight, but we need to be able to move past that and look on to the next game, because it's not, one game doesn't define us. And, you know, we have a really good team and we have a lot of potential. And so being able to get past this and look forward into the next games, and that's what's going to make us and make our season.
He was just telling us here at the end that you guys as leaders and, you know, kind of, you know, the starters of the program, it's important for you guys to show that, as well as, you know, him doing it at the top there. Just, I guess, how do you go about, you know, kind of expressing your message to the team when you're kind of going through struggles and trying to, you know, kind of get yourselves back on track?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a combination of just leadership from everyone on the team. Like, we don't always just look at one guy to be the leader of the whole team, but, you know, we all pull for each other and we're all there for each other. And so we're trying to do this thing as a whole and not just an individual.
How do you guys sort of keep each other accountable, just with the players within the players on the team?
I think the biggest thing is probably just with attitude, you know, just picking each other up after, you know, a bad at-bat, a bad play, bad pitching performance, or whatever it is, just picking each other up and staying positive.
There's Cade Arrambide, of course, when he gets a break. Omar Cerner behind the plate. Arambide's got a chance to pick it back up. JP, real quick before we go to our second break, what do you think they need to do to get off this hitting slump right now?
Honestly, Bud, man, it's just sticking with the process. You're not going to hit the baseball every single time. You talked about it yesterday on the radio. You know, 3 out of 10 gets to the to the Hall of Fame. One guy in Major League professional history hit over 400, Ted Williams. He was so good. Drew Brees wore number 9 for him. So stick with the process. But I mean, so much talent on this team. You're not going to hold them down all year. It just takes one guy to break through and really take the lid off the offense, get that confidence going, and ride that confidence all the way through the SEC gauntlet. But just stick with the process. Don't panic. Just swing at strikes and let the balls go. And I think they'll be just fine, Bud, man.
You know, they were lauded after the Jacksonville tournament by the Indiana coaches and the Notre Dame coaches for having great patience. Our Hall of Famer Todd Walker, who's on the show with us every couple of weeks, talks about the more pitches you see, the better you get. I'm not seeing LSU seeing the baseball that well. They are taking some call strikes right over the plate, but they will pick it up. They will get hot, and don't worry. Jay Johnson is as good as it gets in the country. He will have these guys ready to go for the start of SEC play, but you don't want to lose to the Cajuns tonight. Once again, 6 o'clock on ESPN+. LSU at ULL. Not expected to get a frontline weekend starter, but Jaden Newt and other guys will probably get the ball, and we'll talk about that next time when we have Tigers Roar. Quick time out. We come back with more right here on Tigers Roar on Pelican Sports TV.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements, and that's where Lee Serio can help. His prepaid funeral plans make sure your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. With Lee Serio, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee or his wife Gretchen at 225-315-6329. Let Lee Serio give you and your family the peace of mind you all deserve.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
From the versatile Mazda CX-50 to the bold and elegant Mazda CX-90 to the best-selling Mazda CX-5. Don't just move. It's time to move and be moved, and come experience Mazda right now at Team Mazda on Airline.
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
And we appreciate you patronizing all of our great sponsors. Go by and see Devin Holly and Central over at Treads & Care. Tell them the guys over here at Pelican Sports Radio and TV sent you over. All right, JP, we drop all of the baseball talk for a chat and kind of I guess you could say an analysis of Lady Tigers. They are number 4 seed, in case you hadn't been keeping up with it. Carolina's the 1, Texas the 2, Vandy the 3, LSU solidly in the 4. JP, that gives them a double bye. They'll probably play Oklahoma on Friday at 1:30. But Kim Mulkey does not really care about the SEC Women's Tournament. I don't blame her. Once again, they will host a couple of games in the Pete Maravich Assembly Center, probably get them to the Sweet 16. After that, where do you see this team going, and how do you like the way they're playing right now?
Oh, right now, Bud, man, I think they could still get better. I mean, Flau'jae's had a couple down games right back-to-back towards the end. I think she'll pick it up for tournament time. You mentioned Coach Kim Mulkey doesn't really care about the SEC tournament. She'd rather go from the regular season straight into the postseason. She doesn't put a lot of emphasis on the SEC tournament, especially when you know you're going to make the dance in March. Now, she talked about some Cinderella teams. You'll hear Coach Kim Mulkey in just a minute with her post-game conference after the win against Mississippi State with one Michaela Williams, who absolutely dominated. And I truly think that this team can go as far as Michaela Williams is going to carry them. Yes, there's Flau'jae Johnson, and there's talent around this. Probably the deepest team I've seen Coach Kim Mulkey had since she's been at LSU. But for me, it's Michaela Williams' show. And had a double-double. She moved down on a small lineup to play the 4. She can shoot from the outside. She's very poised. She played all 40 minutes for Coach Kim Mulkey's team against Mississippi State. So, yeah, Bud, man, they have the star power. Jada Richard been shooting the ball pretty well towards the end of the season. In my opinion, this is an Elite 8 team. And if they play well, if their 3 stars get hot and they all play well at the same time, this team can go all the way to the Final Four. In my opinion, they did struggle with some SEC teams, but you're supposed to. The SEC is stacked, even in women's basketball. So right now, I think their offense can still pick up a tick or two, Bud, man. But Coach Kim Mulkey not worried about the SEC tournament, looking forward to postseason play. And I'm kind of in agreement with her. You're not playing for an SEC tournament title. You're playing for the big dance. So I think this is an Elite 8 team, Bud, man, very talented. And if those women get hot, they could go all the way.
Hey, agree with all those comments. Flau'jae has been a little bit off. Of course, she had a throwback to Joe Burrow when he came out with Burrow on his senior night. She had, of course, everybody knows Flau'jae is known as Big Foe, and she spelled it F-E-A-U-X on her jersey as she has played her regular season finale, but they will be back in the postseason. Let's run some film. Oh, by the way, Malaysia Fulwiley, folks, she's as fast as any LSU Tiger lady I've ever seen with the basketball. She just is incredible. Michaela, as you said, has been so important, and they've been putting her down low in the 4, and she's been very dominant down there, JP, not only scoring, taking people to the hole, but also rebounding.
Yeah, Bud, man. She had a double-double, 26 points, also had 15 rebounds, 12 defensive rebounds, so shutting down possessions, getting good rebounds. LSU's transition defense right here left a little bit on the table to be desired. Either hard foul right there or go for the block. But this is a back-and-forth ball game, Bud, man. Mississippi State went on some runs. LSU would match it and then pull ahead, and then another run by the Bulldogs. So back and forth to the second half, and then LSU kind of pulled away.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They had a slow start. Mississippi State was on fire. As you said, Michaela was kind of holding the fort down right now. And here we go once again. Man, when you talk about the bigs, Amaya Joyner, Kate Koval, obviously Zakiya Johnson and Grace Knox, they've got to stay out of foul trouble and defend the bigs. But basically the scoring, once again, here you go. Michaela with a little off-balance 7-footer.
And Malaysia Fulwiley, can't say enough about the transfer, what she has been able to do with Coach Kim Mulkey's program this season. 6 Woman of the Year in the SEC. Fantastic in transition. She can shoot the basketball. Here she is with a great defensive play, coast to coast with the layup. LSU wouldn't have been the same team this year without Fulwiley.
On cue, she gets the steal in the layup, and once again, not only does she lead LSU in categories, but she also leads LSU in steals and blocks, and so explosive and so fast. And look, she's out of control sometimes. She's going to have some turnovers, but a definite positive addition from the South Carolina Gamecocks.
And she also had 4 assists, Bud, man, which was tied for the game lead behind Michaela Williams. So, yeah, she does a little bit of everything for LSU. There you see another nice bucket by her. But truly, I'll say it again, this team is going to go as far as Michaela Williams will carry them. There's a nice shot right there set up by Williams. Defense was pretty good in the second half, Bud, man. You mentioned the big staying out of foul trouble. I think LSU, like I said, is the deepest team I've seen under Kim Mulkey right here at LSU. So, yeah, get those bigs fresh, keep them rotated, and protect the hoop and get those rebounds. Just play your role.
As everybody knows, your defense leads to your offense, and here's Fulwiley once again. Just explodes and right into the bigs, and she's fearless, JP. Now,
yeah,
she dished off there to Joyner, but she's a good passer as well. But look at that speed right there.
Yeah, great handles, Bud, man. Very confident when she's going to the rack. She knows where to get her shots from. She's not afraid of contact. Good finisher, especially for the women's side.
And, of course, as we know, Lady Tigers have played really well, but just so loaded at the top. Carolina's going to be tough. We know that Texas is very good. Obviously, Vandy's had a great year. Once again, Michaela when you give her a mid-range jump shot, you can tell this woman was born to shoot the basketball.
Yeah, the mid-range game is a lost art kind of in basketball these days, Bud, man, but not Michaela Williams. She knows exactly where she wants to shoot. Even if her back is towards the basketball goal, she'll turn and hit. Has no problem getting to her spots. Big body, very strong, but a very soft touch.
And listen, there you go, Kim Mulkey. And we put the sunglasses back on because our eyes are a little bad today. And so we don't want you to hurt when you're watching this show. We say hello to everybody. We are back over here at Tigers Roar. We'll try to get a little more consistent. But women's basketball, JP, once again, a packed house. Did you ever think that LSU and South Carolina could play to a crowd which was soliciting scalpers' marks? Scalpers prices, 2 lower bowl tickets. 2 tickets went for $2,300 in that game. A shame they couldn't finish the game, and inexplicably Flau'jae missing a couple free throws, but you learn it's 18 straight victories for Carolina over LSU women's basketball, 6 on the Kim Mulkey watch. Do they get them this year, or is that still going to be a challenge in the coming years?
It's a mental hurdle now, bud, man. It's the David versus Goliath in your own mind. You got to beat them mentally. You got to visualize that you're able to do it before you can get it done. I think Coach Kim Mulkey has her team ready. They've been very close. You mentioned Flau'jae. I thought she was the best player on the court in that second half for South Carolina. She was getting to the rack at will. Missed a couple of free throws unexpectedly, and LSU loses a very tough one. But, yeah, it's a mental game now, bud, man. Just got to close it out, and you got to believe you can do it before you can achieve it. So I think they're very capable, very talented enough to win against South Carolina, but got to get over that mental hurdle.
Here's Kim Mulkey, Michaela Williams, once again meeting with the media after the latest victory here the other night.
I don't think it was really just me realizing having a good night. I think it was just me realizing that I had to come home because Mississippi State was playing really good basketball, and I had to get started, so be that spark so the rest of the team could come on.
And what were the conversations like after that first quarter and then go out to have the second quarter that you did?
Clearly Mississippi State was ready to play. They came out playing hard, and I think the conversation for us was playing harder than them. We came out playing hard. We wanted to be disciplined, take care of the ball, run, and that's what we ended up doing.
Michaela, what allowed the offense to start clicking after the slow start in the first quarter?
I think it's just us not letting them speed us up. They came out really aggressive, playing really fast, playing really hard. I think we kind of let it fluster us at the beginning, but once we slowed down, ran our offense, and didn't let them force us to do what they wanted us to do, everything started to work out.
Anybody else in the room? Reed?
Michaela, you played all 40 minutes tonight. At what point did you realize you'd have to go, I guess, that much, and how do you feel afterwards?
I just like playing basketball. I like being on the floor. I like helping my teammates. I like being on the court and playing basketball. So at no point did I realize, I'm playing 40 minutes. I feel good even after the 40 minutes. I could play another 40 minutes. So I think that's also a testament to where my conditioning has come, being able to play effective 40 minutes.
Questions for Coach?
Coach, when you scouted this team, what stuck out about Mississippi State going into this matchup?
Rebounding. I think they rebound with a lot of great teams in the SEC, so we knew we'd have to rebound with them. The little 1-2-2, we knew they would do that. We didn't handle it very well. Michaela, as good as she played, she'll tell you that 8's too many turnovers for her. Jada had 4 turnovers. So, but rebounding, and they play hard. They play hard.
This game had a lot of runs just from both teams throughout, each quarter. How were you able to just kind of manage it at the end and come through with the win?
Give yourself an opportunity to get a shot. And I thought once we got it in the front court, we got some good looks, and we also got some easy buckets against the 1-2-2 late. So, Mississippi State is trying to get in the NCAA tournament. We're in. We're a 4th seed in the SEC, and what happens a lot is when you go on the road the last game of the season, don't let that team outplay you because they're trying to get in the tournament and you're in. And sometimes I think that happens. I don't know that happened today. I want to give credit to Mississippi State. They play hard. They hit some shots. I think they got to the foul line more than we did. I used several lineups. I went small, and that's a lot of the reason Michaela never came out. She moved from the perimeter to the 4.
Coach, is that why you went with the big lineup in the second half, because of the rebounding?
It wasn't so much rebounding as altering shots. I thought Kate especially, and she'll hold her ground and just make shots with bigs down there. And I just thought the smaller lineup, we were struggling. I thought that Francis's length bothered us at the post, so I just went big.
And if you can zoom out for a second and look at the way Michaela has played, not only today, but the last 3 games ever since Ole Miss, what have you seen from her, and how has she been able to have the success?
I just think she's playing harder in practice. I think she's playing harder in the games. Sometimes when you get older, you become a junior and a senior. It's not that you coast, it's just you try to pace yourself. And I don't want her to pace herself. I think if you go hard every possession, it becomes a part of who you are. Every possession, every rep that you get, just go hard as if it's your last time you'll ever play. And then asking her to go inside and play the 4, I think gets her some shots closer in when she misses some threes out there. She's got the strength to battle in there for rebounds against bigger players. So I'm not surprised. I mean, as I said earlier in the year, Michaela had taken her game to a whole nother level. And tonight I didn't want her to pass it up when we were trying to use up some of the clock. Keep the ball in your hands. And, it's probably some of her 8 turnovers she probably got credit for, but really they probably were somebody else's.
All right, so there you go, a little bit of Michaela and Kim Mulkey. Once again, they will play Friday afternoon, 1:30 or thereabouts, the winner of Oklahoma and the preceding winners in the SEC tournament, of course, which is starting earlier today on this Wednesday, March 4th. Back to wrap it up on this edition of Tigers Roar right here with Buddy Sanji, Jonathan Poche, Marty Campbell, right here on Pelican Sports TV.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With private healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
When I started Frugier Family Dentistry, my goal was simple: treat every patient like family and provide the kind of dental care we'd want for our own.
And that's still the way we do it here. Whether it's cleanings, implants, or cosmetic work, we take time, explain every step, and treat people the right way.
People come here because they trust us, and they send the people they care about. That means everything.
And we're proud to keep that going right here in Baton Rouge.
Frugier Family Dentistry, rooted in family and focused on you.
And we take off the sunglasses and wrap it up on this Wednesday afternoon, March 1st. JP, let's talk about spring football. 3 weeks from yesterday, Lane Kiffin and the Tigers. What are you looking for? Oh, by the way, a lot of new names. 43 from the transfer portal, 17 recruits. And obviously, you've got about 25 or 30 coming back from last year's team. JP, what are you looking for mostly with LSU spring football, which will start back into this month?
A lot of physicality, Bud, man. I think LSU was kind of bullied in the trenches, especially right in the middle a little bit last year. So a lot of physicality, a lot of tempo on offense. Look for Sam Levitt to have a good grasp of all the tempo and different looks this offense is going to provide. Defense got to get physical, going to be fast, bringing in a lot of talent, Bud, man. Hopefully this offensive line can solidify in the spring, moving into the fall, but looking for a lot of physicality. Tough football players who want to knock the snot out of people.
Interesting to see. JP just hit the nail on the head, folks. LSU's got to get physical. They've been finessed, and Nick Savage is the new strength and conditioning coach. Don't know how long it will take him to get the guys up to snuff, but they've got to get stronger, bigger, faster, deeper. Jordan Seaton on the left tackle and others on the offensive line. JP, you agree, at the line of scrimmage, LSU's got to put SEC caliber people along with the depth. I'm looking for big-time improvement both on the offensive line and defensive line. Skilled people are going to be there, and how fun is it going to be on the night of September 5th to go to Tiger Stadium and watch LSU and Clemson and show Clemson what the real Death Valley is all about.
That's right, Bud, man. I can't wait to see Sam Levitt running all over the field, running a Lane Kiffin offense. Kid was dynamic at Arizona State. Excited to see what he'll do under Kiffin with that tempo. All those playmakers on the outside, going to solidify that offensive line, protect Levitt, and get some windows open for a very talented running back group led by Harlan Berry, Bud, man. Looking forward to Harlan Berry's sophomore year. Kid saw some flashes of excellence in his freshman year. Had a fantastic high school career right there at St. Martin's in Metairie, Louisiana. Showed he could do it in the SEC. Looking forward to seeing what he can do in his sophomore season.
As we've been saying on the radio show for a long time, you have to address and embrace the black hat. Not the purple hat, but the black hat. JP, does this hate for LSU and Lane Kiffin carry over to the football season, or is it going to die down? Because everybody in the country was pointing the finger and feeling sorry for Ole Miss, poor Ole Miss Rebels. Yeah. I can't wait for the third weekend in the season for LSU to go over there. And if you are traveling over there, make sure you're on your best behavior, because that's got some potential for some serious craziness week 3. Pete Golding, I think Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss Jr. are going to teach him a trick or two on that third game of the season.
Yeah, Bud, man, and if LSU comes out and puts a whooping on Clemson, I think the hate will only amplify. They'll be like, oh, my gosh, LSU is back. Now they have Lane Kiffin. They just stomped on Clemson. Yeah, that Ole Miss atmosphere is going to be absolutely toxic, in my opinion. You heard what they were screaming at the coach and the staff on the tarmac. That was before they came back to help them coach to the playoffs. So there will be no love lost for sure. I wouldn't go to that ball game alone wearing purple and gold. Go with the group, at least 3 or 4 people, and try to have fun. I think LSU will go to Oxford and show them why they're the little brothers of the SEC, why they're LSU's little brother, and I think they'll big time them. But excited for the season. I don't think the hate is going to go away anytime soon. LSU, you got to just revel in it. Look, there's a reason that some of the most famous and popular wrestlers were always the heel. People love to cheer for the bad guy. Now there's an outlet. Embrace it. LSU, live it up on social media. Talk your trash at the beach, because there will be a lot of people ready to hate on the purple and gold.
Hey, going to take the last minute to tell you that there is a fight to keep City Park Golf Course open. We'll give you more details. This is their City Park Golf Course celebrating their 100th year this year. Politics is involved. If you're a golfer, if you played there, JP, first time my dad ever took me to a course was City Park. Here it is. They're trying to turn it into something it shouldn't be. So we will talk more about that in the future. But all the friends over at City Park want to make sure that you have your voice heard, because this is going to be a battle, and Breck and everybody else will make this determination, but it would be a tragedy if City Park Golf Course is put down to a pitch and putt, a 3-hole course. We'll talk more about that. Also, we'll get you up to snuff on what the Saints are going to do in the draft. Once again, ULL tonight, big game out at Lafayette Tigmore Park, as well as Sacramento State this weekend. Lady Tigers this weekend in the SEC tournament. See you next week, everybody.